few of the new people asked me questions at the last meeting. They're questions I hear often, so I'm going to address them in this video. But don't imagine you're going to hear answers. Your mind thinks that if a question is asked, there must be an answer. But a question is not a logical or rational thought. There are no logical or rational thoughts. A question is merely a symptom of confusion. Not even a confused mind, because to say that implies a mind that you will imagine. You will think, I have a mind, and it is confused. Then you will believe there is something you need to do to clear up that mind. But none of that has any reality. There is no mind. Not really. It is just a way that words try to talk about what can never be spoken of in words or grasped by thoughts. So why do we have these talks? Why do these videos appear? No reason at all. But at the talks, I always have some banitsa, delicious. So maybe that is reason enough. As for the videos, they're short, but perhaps you can grab a snack. If you like me, you can grab a sweet snack. If you don't like me, you can take a bite of something bitter. I'm neither sweet nor bitter, but your imaginary mind will project qualities on me. Like your sense of taste and smell will project qualities on food. Do you really imagine there are absolute categories of sweet and bitter in what we call the world? In what we call nature? Do you imagine every species has the same sense of taste as a human? If a banana bread is dropped on Vitosha Boulevard, does it have a taste? And as it rots in the rain? Everything we sense and see and think and feel is only a projection from a projection on a projection. And even that is not it at all. The most common question I am asked is, what can I do to see the world as it truly is? And the next question I am asked is, what can I do to discover my true nature beyond myself? They're pretty much the same question. One seems to point outwards and one seems to point inside. But they can be answered at the same time. Just remember, as you listen to my answer and think you understand it, there is no answer and nothing you can ever understand. I know that to you these are very serious questions, but the problem is that there is no such thing as the world as it truly is. To ask that question, you have to imagine there is some kind of fixed, definite reality that exists. A world that is solid and real, and that you're like a scientific instrument that can observe such a world. That you're a separate thing capable of observing everything else. Physicists can tell you how hopeless this is. There is no world of separate things, and you are not a separate thing that can observe what is outside of you. Maybe then you remember the words of the gurus who say to observe yourself. What is inside? To find your true nature. to go deeper than your personal self and see what is really true, what is eternal and unchanging. Then you will discover that there are no separate things, that you are not separate from all that appears, that there is only one consciousness or awareness, one infinite and eternal source, and that what you think of as your separate self and all the things that seem to appear as separate things are really just manifestations of this one source. But there is one problem with that. There is no eternal source. There is no infinite consciousness. You're not part of some vast, immense source. That is simply another thought, another projection. You can meditate and do inquiry all you want, but you'll never get outside of your perceptions. You'll never be the universe. You'll never be God. You'll never be pure consciousness or infinite awareness. Because none of those concepts are real. They're just imagination, just thoughts, just fairy tales. All that has seemed to happen with this Anna projection you feel you're looking at on your screen is that it is simply very clear that she's not a separate person in a solid world of separate people, separate things, that there are no separate living beings and inanimate objects, none of your imaginary categories. I have not realized my true nature. Anna is not enlightened. There is no true nature to realize. So, the answer to the question of what can you do to see the world as it truly is, and what you can do to discover your true nature beyond your personal self, well, it is simple. Nothing at all. No one to do it. No world as it truly is. No true self. There is only ever this. And when I say that, I have no idea what this means beyond what seems to appear and then disappear. There is only ever this. And when I say that, I have no idea what this means beyond what seems to appear and then disappear. This is only what seems to come and go, what seems to be perceived, but it comes from nowhere and goes nowhere. There is a thought of change and time and space, yet there's always only ever what is, this, as it appears. Without thoughts, it is unchanging, timeless, and spaceless. Where is this? When is this? What is this? Why is this? Who is this? The answer is